This is the new 240Z rally car from Kyosho that's based off of the Fazer platform, and it's meant to be a replica of a real car that won a rally race in 1971, and it looks absolutely awesome. Is it really? Well, let's find out. Now, before we open up this box, on the side here, Kyosho has given us all sorts of information on what's included and some of the features of the car. So let's crack it open. There is the car all covered up. So we have a Kyosho Synchro transmitter, 2.4 gigahertz. It's the same transmitter that's included with all the Fazer cars, and honestly, it's pretty dang nice. We also have some tools in this bag, as well as different wheel adapters. One thing on the bottom, our manual. And oh my gosh. So this is an electric vehicle. It's 10 scale, it's 4-wheel drive. It has brushed electronics that are capable of 2S, and it's based off the short FZ02 chassis platform. And then when you add the rally conversion to it, Kyosho was calling it the FZ02R. As far as I can tell, it is the first ready-to-run Fazer they've made with the rally conversion included. Kyosho made the Subaru Impreza, but that did not have the rally conversion included, which is normally a $87 upgrade. Now, because that conversion is included onto this car, this is one of the most expensive Fazers you can buy at about $270. But looking at this thing, it's clear that it is definitely worth it for the right person. Now, this body is replica status when you compare it to the real 240Z that was used in the 1971 Safari Rally to win. It was the overall winner. The likeness between the RC and the real one is just pretty incredible. This is a Lexan body, and it's got lots of decals on it, and then there are some hard molded plastic pieces to help pop different features. Now, on the front end, this is a hard plastic bumper. Our light lenses are hard plastic lenses that will accept an LED light kit once you purchase it separately. There's also more lights attached on the hood. These are hard plastic housings, as is this center one right in the middle of the grille. Now, this matte black hood, that's a big decal. We have hard plastic windshield wipers. We have a hard plastic light on the left side, as well as the lens. And then on the right side, that is going to be a hard plastic mirror with a reflective decal inside. Now, all the windows have decals for tint with chrome trim going around them. Now, in the back end, there is another full bumper that's going to be chrome. And then this taillight section is actually a hard plastic piece that's attached from the inside with another hard plastic housing light with lens, and then we have real clear plastic lenses for our brake lights and our backup lights. Overall, the whole thing looks really, really fantastic. I can only spot a couple of details on the real car that aren't present, like the handles that are towards the back hatch, and then the real car also has these little mud flaps behind the rear tires, which look really awesome, and that would have been a cool thing to add to this car. Now, for the tires and wheels, these are 8-spoke Watanabe wheels, if I'm saying that right, and I believe they are officially licensed. And then the tires are a vintage style rally tire, and they're different from the normal rally tires that Kyosho offers. Now, popping off the body, it's held on with 4 body clips, and there's little plastic washers underneath to help protect the body, but you get a good look at our chassis and then our Lexan protective piece that sits over the chassis to help keep debris out. It should be noted, though, that these can cause the heat to rise up inside the chassis, so if you're driving this in a really hot climate, you better check temps to make sure they're not overheating. This Lexan cover is secured on with 2 more body clips, so with those off, the cover comes right up, and then we get a good look inside this chassis. Now, I think I mentioned it, it's the FZ02 short chassis, and the short chassis is the only platform compatible with the rally conversion. And the rally conversion can be applied to any of the other Fazer vehicles as long as it's a short chassis, and it's gonna help bring up the chassis height. So there's gonna be more clearance underneath the chassis, and then it also is gonna add more suspension travel. And it does that by adding in longer shocks and taller shock towers. Now, as for the other features in the chassis, it's gonna be really standard with the other Fazer platforms. We have a gear differential in the front and rear, a plastic center drive shaft connecting our four-wheel drive. There's a fixed gear pitch system if you want to change your motor pinion. And then the electronics are standard too. It's a 550 size brushed motor. We've got a 60 amp ESC with a T-style connector. And then there's gonna be a waterproof servo underneath this plastic covering. Overall, it is a really nice, simple, and clean chassis layout that uses one Velcro strap to hold in your 2S LiPo battery. You can do a 3S conversion with these cars, and we've done one in the past and it was super powerful, but it's recommended to use an aluminum center drive shaft to minimize vibrations and keep it more true. So here we have the HPI WR8 Flux, and this is the Sen rally car, and this is not a straight apples to apples comparison. These are just the only other rally cars that we have. Now, both of these are 8 scale and brushless, and they cost almost twice as much as the Datsun. But just for a size comparison, it is going to be shorter. It does have a shorter wheelbase. It is more narrow, and then it also is using smaller tires and wheels. Proportionately, it does look smaller, but not by that much. When it comes to details and some of the little scale features on the body, I think the Datsun blows the other two out of the water. Speed run time on 2S. Okay, 26 is pretty good. 2S on a brush system, it's not bad. One thing that's immediately noticeable is how much body roll on the road it has, and it feels pretty realistic. The tires screeching? They screech a little bit. Okay, let's try some grass. Check the motor temp. Motor temp is, it's kind of warm. It's probably like 160, but the inside of the chassis is very clean. It's just some dust, although we didn't really drive it in any dirt, did we? We're at the parking lot of our off-road track. We have a nice dirt field here, but there are some bigger rocks. They might be a problem, but we'll see how the car does. So we took a few tumbles and the body looks all right, except we lost our lens on the front light there. Motor is definitely hot though. It's probably like 170, close to 180. It's about 92 degrees out here right now, so it's pretty warm. So there's quite a bit of dust in there, but I don't see any large rocks or debris. It's just dust.
Okay. On your mark, get set, go!
So after all this dirty driving, how clean do you think our chassis stayed with that cover? Well, here's our card now. Kind of dirty inside. And you can see there's quite a bit of debris, there's a lot of grass, there's just a lot of stuff that kind of leaked through that cover. Another thing, outside temperatures reached about 98 degrees that day as we were driving out there, and our motor was extremely hot by the time we were done driving. It was way too hot. So if the chassis cover is going to be letting in debris anyways, and it's going to overheat our electronics, I think in the future, we won't be using this. But thankfully, that's the worst thing about the car because it is absolutely glorious. It is a joy to watch, it is beautiful to look at, and it is a pleasure to drive, especially with all the playful body roll that it's got going on. So guys, thanks for watching this video. I'm Brett from AMain Hobbies, and if you want to go check out the Fazer 240Z rally car, check out our links down below.